you always away, always out there, so the wife is there, holding the home front, with the children and everything, looking after, she becomes the daddy and the mommy at the same time. So yeah, so it's really great to have retired, fully, and in good health, and back with my family. So just looking forward to what I'll do next.
All right, so you're back here in Nigeria. We know you were an athlete before you left Nigeria, and we know you're still interested in Nigerian sports. From a distance, from your base in the UK before coming in to visit now, what has been your impression of Nigerian athletics in the last couple of years?
I would say our athletics has not really improved. Even though we have the guys out there, doing some good, performances out there, but at the same time, the support for these young athletes are not there, like it used to be. I would have thought that we would have improved much more better, compared to during our time, but I begin to looks like our time was better, compared to this time, and that's why you have all these athletes, when they get frustrated, these younger generations these days, and they just defect when they see better things out there. Not everybody is a patriot. Okay. I had the opportunity if I wanted to go to compete for another country, but I was still competing for Nigeria, even though I was with the British Army. I know the funny thing, the British Army were paying for me to come back home to compete for my own country. Okay. So, but
was that an agreement you had with them before joining, or? So
before joining, when I went to the career office, they didn't know I was an athlete. So it was when I went into basic training, and I opened up to look, this is who I am, I'm an athlete. Straight away they send a message, they send away to the unit that is known for athletics there, and said to them, we'll have an international athlete listening, and the unit was saying, as soon as you finish, send it to us. And that was it. When I finished my first basic training, I was supposed to go to phase 2 training, but what did they do? They fast-tracked me straight to unit first of all. And then from unit, before I went to do my phase 2 training, and I started competing, and they were giving me time off to go and train and all the rest of them, and to go compete for my country. I said, look, I've got these trials to go and come back, and they said, yeah, what do you need from us? I said, I just need a time off. And then they phone around and then call me Athletics Association, and before you know it, they're giving me funds from the corps. They're paying for my ticket, they're paying for me to go back home, and and you can't for my own country. Wow. They would there's been a situation where they would say, oh no, I want you, you're in the British, I want to compete for Britain. I said, no, but they didn't even stop me. They allowed me to go compete for my country. The club I was competing for in UK, so for Green Athletics Club, also supported me. They actually were instrumental to me joining the British Army. It was the club that said to me, do you know you can join the British Army? So I remain grateful to them, that they put me through it. And
Lee, you said earlier that there were certain things that were not going fine, and you think they could be doing better. Yeah. What are those areas you think that? What are those areas you think that can be improved, or where you think that an improvement has not been made over the years?
So it's all about welfare of the athletes. You understand me? And these athletes are not asking for too much. There's what we call duty of care. There's what we call duty of care. Okay. You understand me? Show concern. Even if the resources are not there yet, you understand me? There's a way you talk to an athlete. There's a way you treat athletes. You understand me? They will understand. You understand that this is not there. You understand? But approach them when you need them. When there's a major competition, to tell them, hey, come and do this, come and do that. Tell me, do you give them training grants? Yeah. Do you call them to say, look, how you doing? They tell me, what you going to? All those little things are, what these athletes need. Okay. They're not asking you to give them millions and billions and rest of them. Okay. Duty of care, that's the most important thing. If you look, let me just deviate a bit. Clean Track and Field Foundation.
Okay, this is the foundation that you are running with Clement Chukwu and a few other retired athletes?
Yes. Okay. So we have a foundation, okay? And the essence of this foundation is for us to help, these young athletes and help rebuild, athletics in Nigeria, which was starting from the southeast, okay? Now, what do we do? Some of these athletes we discovered since 5 years we've been doing this. Some of these athletes we follow them through. We follow them. We follow them through to make sure that we look at their progress. The two that out of this our program have succeeded in going to US on scholarship. Clement is in US. Clement has been following them up too. He calls them. At times he invite them to come and to dinner and not say them. And the organizer himself and Zuka invited. I was on video call with them. We spoke to the guys. We kept encouraging them. This is a duty of care. That's what you want these athletes. He said the association can do that. You can visit them. You can look. Dan Ngerem, this is not me. Dan Ngerem used to be a president of AFA. Dan Ngerem came to UK, came to my unit to visit me.
Oh, Dan Ngerem came to you.
This is an example I'm giving you. That's the duty of care I'm talking about. Dan Ngerem came to my unit. Myself, John Osazua, Musa Audu, all of us were in the same unit. Dan Ngerem came, brought somebody from Nigerian embassy. They came to our unit and visited us. My commanding officer hosted him. He hosted him. He talked about us, and then get him had the feedback. And they took them for a lunch, and we felt like on top of the world that an AFN president came to visit us. And by the time he left, the regiment, were rating us high. It was a different. It is duty of care. You see me? Yes, he gave us some money. You see me? But it's not just about him. His presence alone. You see me? So when you have an AFN president visit you. You see me? There's nothing that will make you want to change, to nationality. Because the duty of care is there. He cares. That's what we expect this our present AFN to do. These athletes are not asking for a lot. Duty of care. Find out how they're doing. What are they going to? Some of them are in school. How are they doing in school? You see me? That duty of care. That's all it is.
Okay. All right. There you have. Lee Okorafor, a former decathlete. He retired from the British Army on the 26th of last month. That is July, August, if I'm not mistaken. That is correct. So he just retired and he just came over for a whistle stop here in Abuja to say hello to us here at the VOP television. It's my very good friend. You heard it all, the full show. I don't know. How do you feel with the issues of Ebele Chukwu Agbapongo won bronze in the 400 meters flat for Bahrain at this championship that is still on in Tokyo. These are the things we are saying. Francis Obikwelu, Gloria Alozie, so Ogunwode, Femi Ogunwode, and the rest. There are so many Nigerians.
Gloria Alozie competed for Spain. Obikwelu competed for Portugal.
So what is this thing we need to do? He said there, caring for this people, whether on or off season, being there for them like a father figure or a mother figure. How do you think, what is going on with athletics that our athletes are not staying home, that we are scared now that Koninshola or Ezekiel or even Toby from the way she was complaining about it can just one day say, I no longer want to represent Nigeria?
I think it still boils down to this popular saying that government has no business in business. I mean, government can only regulate. Most of these countries, when you look at their own version of athletic federation,
okay,
it's more like a private sector driven thing.
Okay.
Removing all bureaucratic bottleneck. I mean, you can, for example, like UK Athletics right now, for example, you'll be shocked that a former CEO of, say, Coca-Cola will be the head. So he's coming with the mindset of a private sector, profit-driven mindset. See, government is not out to make profits. So government is always relaxed when it comes to business because government is not to make business, to make profits. So if you want to run athletics, if you want to make it look like professionals, these guys are not just competing for Nigeria or other countries just to wear the flag. Don't forget they're also family men, family women. They have dependents back home. They want to go to school. They want to do some other things. They need money. So you need to fund them because the job they are doing presently, which is athletics, is not just for fun. It is what puts food on their table.
Okay, that is their profession.
Their profession. So they must be paid handsomely. So how do you do that? private sector has to come in, because government can't do that.
Okay.
Now, a couple of years back, I used to work with the late Jide Fashikun, and we created this idea of, adopt an athlete and the rest.
I remember when Jide discussed that with me. Yes, I remember that.
I was part of that team, adoption of athletes by the private sector. And when Sunday Dare came on board as a sports minister, I think he fine-tuned it. We had a couple of athletes that were adopted by one individual or another. And also, beyond athletes, they were also giving out our stadia for adoption.
To some of the Nigerian
I think
top-end players in the corporate world. Yeah, that's true. We need the NSC to go back to the drawing board, pick out these files, let us fine-tune this adopt an athlete. There's nothing wrong if Ezekiel Nathaniel is being taken over by, say, Dangote, for instance. Dangote refinery.
Koinsola is being taken over by, say, First Bank of Nigeria.
Okay,
now, so whenever he needs funding, it goes to them. They look at his calendar every year. They plan it for him. There's a coach for him. They pay the coach directly. It's not that when the coach needs his money, he has to start writing letter to the FA. He will now go. They say they are looking for approval from one table to another. So you need to treat these guys like professionals that earn money.
Volusho, I can really relate with what you just said, because after the Paris Games, where Ophili missed the 100 meters and she was not very happy with both the NSC and the AFN, when they came back, a colleague of ours, I think Nii Busari, did an interview with a member of the AFN board. And the words he used in reply to the question of Ophili being angry and may likely dump Nigeria, the way he reacted was not like a CEO of a company that wants to make profit, that is seeing Ophili as an asset that needs to be managed. He waved her complaints aside. Don't mind her. If she leaves, we can recreate another one. Forgetting that Nigeria has been investing in this young lady since primary school. When it comes to where we want to start reaping medals from her, she's going to be running for Turkey now.
It's just similar to the brain drain we've been complaining about in health sector. You train somebody from the university from part 1 to part 6 to study medicine. Suddenly it now moves to the UK. You understand? You spend all the money to training. It's the same thing that happens here. You don't know how to manage your athletes. Nigeria is spending so much. Nigeria discovered Ophili, nurtured her. Now Turkey is reaping Turkey will be reaping the podium performances of Ophili because we failed to do the needful.
I saw about Puongo on the podium. The other time she won the Diamond League 400 meters. And I said, this is Nigeria's medal. The other young lady, Annette, who won a silver for the US in the hammer throw. The same thing. So, anytime I see their medals.
So, like I said, the only way you can have this thing happen is either we begin to see AFN like a company, a profit-making company.
That uses
the mindset
with athletes as the
assets. And how can you do that? It's not the building, it is individual that runs it. There's nothing wrong with picking a Tony Elumelu right now. So, okay, Tony Elumelu, we are giving you AFN. You run it the way you're going to run your business that will make profits. You'll see changes. You understand? Because Tony understands that he has to make profit for AFN, and the athletes too has to make money. They have to get paid.
All right, Felicia, talking about getting paid and looking at athletes, this information, we had the assessment team from the Commonwealth Group coming to visit Nigeria to see, in respect of the bid Nigeria is putting up to host the 2030 games. I don't know if you can see those group with some of our sports officials coming, and the government. They were received by the Chief of Staff to the President, Femi Gbajabiamila, and of course we also visited the Parliament. And here you see them. We have members of the Commonwealth delegation there. That is their leader, the white man there in the middle, Darren Hall, who is the Director of Games and Assurance at the Commonwealth Sport and member 2030 Evaluation Commission. There's, of course, Anna Louise Morgan, Director of Sport. And, of course, there's Ezra Shabangu, the Regional Development Manager for Africa and Europe at the Commonwealth Sports. Those are there with the Nigerian officials there. I think I see the NOC president there, Abu Gumel. I also see
the chairman of NSC.
The chairman of the
DG is there, NSC Director General.
The Director General of National... the sports
National Institute of Sports,
NIS, that is correct, and a few other sports persons within the Nigerian sports firmament, receiving them there at the National Sports Commission. Fulusho, what is your take on Nigeria? We just woke up one day, sometime last week or 2 weeks ago, and the information is that Nigeria is bidding to host the 2030 Commonwealth Games.
Well, there's nothing wrong in being ambitious. There's nothing wrong in dreaming, but I think you need the media to push this dream, because aside for people that are in the media space, very few people, a lot of people don't have this information.
Okay.
A lot of people don't have this information. I mean, I got to know it quite late myself, that we're bidding for 2030. Not bad, but can we do it? Can we do it?
Fulusho, you are asking me. I'm asking you. Fulusho, look, I followed the bid. I don't know what has happened at the Commonwealth Secretariat of Sports, because, Fulusho, when Nigeria bidded to host the 2040 Commonwealth Games, the bid process started in 2005 with about 7 cities, not even the nations now, because even the bid people now have not told us what city in Nigeria they are bidding to host. Nations don't host the Commonwealth Games or the Olympics. It's cities. It is not the World Cup. It is World Cup and football that nations host, where you can use venues across the country. In Commonwealth Games and Olympics, the best you can do is to use adjoining towns. Maybe you have 1 or 2 events coming up in Lafia if you're using Abuja. But basically, Abuja is the host city. They've not told us which city in Nigeria is hosting. And then 4 years away, 2025 is already gone.
Yeah.
So one of the reasons why Nigeria failed to win the bid for that thing, when we lost to Glasgow, Abuja lost to Glasgow in 2007, when they made that vote in Sri Lanka, was one, the people of Abuja were not carried along, and 2, poor transportation system. Fulusho, most of the challenges that led Nigeria to lose that bid have not been corrected. That is my fear. They've not been corrected, and we are here again, just bidding again. I don't understand this.
Maybe we should just answer the guess here. I mean, a guess. Which city do you think would probably likely want to be hosted?
Fulusho, as far as I know, knowing what politicians love to do, the NSC is here. The president is in Abuja here. For me, Lagos lacks everything to host the Commonwealth Games.
Maybe
Uyo Stadium is not complete. Most of the adjoining facilities that make a complete stadium, as soon as Akpabio left, the succeeding governors did not finish them up. So what we have there are the tracks and the football pitch, which are very good, world-class standards. So there you go. So Abuja National Stadium, which can be put up to ship, is the only stadium that has most of the facilities to host events.
But I think we can do that in the next 4 years, can't we?
Public transportation system.
Okay, that's where the FCT government comes in, please. Like I said, there's nothing wrong in dreaming.
And then carrying the public along. Because when I see these old sports managers there, you need all these musicians like Davido, young people. They are the ones who drive the process.
I think I like the ambition. I like the dream, but I think NSC has failed in doing one thing. The publicity has been very poor.
Maybe they feel it's early yet also.
No, but it's a bidding. It's a bidding.
It starts now.
Let people know. Let people of Abuja know that we intend to do this in the next.
I wish they had people welcoming this delegation.
I mean, let them come and they'll see banners everywhere from the airports to the city centers and the rest.
It just reminded me. On the day of the bid, I was still working at FRC and Radio Nigeria at that time, where we were still very, very powerful. Richard Asiegbo was in Sri Lanka. I was here in Abuja. Nobody knew. While they were all in Glasgow, different viewing centers, waving the Scottish flag, and these things were being beamed live to the voters in Sri Lanka.
To convince them that we can do this.
We are ready. The people are ready to welcome the Commonwealth citizens. So, Folisho, I don't know. So, you were saying that it can't be done. Let me hear.
No, I mean, there's nothing that cannot be done.
Okay.
But I think the publicity has been very poor. They didn't carry the media along very well. It's the media that will tell the people of Abuja that we intend to do something in the next 4 or 5 years.
Okay.
I mean, there should be hype. You create a buzz around it. You make noise. Musicians, let people know that you are bidding for something.
Like songs.
So like you said, it is cities that host these games. And who are the city? Who is the city? It is people that live there. So let people in Abuja understand, okay, we want to host this thing, and they will overwhelmingly say, okay, we want to do this thing. But a lot of people don't even know. That's number one. Number two, beyond the stadium, do we have that robust transport system that can, like Australia will come in, someone will come from the UK, someone will come from Canada, it's okay. I mean, enjoy a semblance, at least semblance of what I
still have my Oyster card when I was on holiday in London with my wife. My Oyster card is still at home. I could literally just go anywhere I wanted to with my Oyster card, by train or by bus. I lived in the US. My bus card, the last one I bought, is still at home. It has expired, I agree. But look, can we build that in 4 years?
In 4 years.
And then Nigerian people, the president replaced the private jet of the president, our own Air Force One. And the Nigerians are complaining, we are hungry. You are buying Air Force One or Jet One. Do you think the Nigerian people are ready for Nigeria to spend money to do facilities when people are complaining of hunger?
I mean, the feelers we are getting from Aso Rock is that,
hunger was so
no, I'm not even talking about hunger, that we want to do this thing. So if the president said we can do it, let's give it a shot, you understand? But I feel the publicity has been very poor.
So you believe that we should support?
Let's support them. I mean, it's a laudable venture. According to the NSC, they say it goes to promote the president's agenda to develop sports, and I mean, when you develop sports, you're developing the youth. So let's give them that support and I think better.
Folisho, do you think so? Because see, there is one sentiment that drove Abuja's bid the last time. Africa has never hosted the Commonwealth Games, and there was the need for that, which is like giving the World Cup to South Africa for the sake of Nelson Mandela. I agree with all of that. But at the same time, ultimately, that sentimental bidding failed, because you need at least a semblance. To a certain extent, you must meet the criteria to a certain level. So while we are supporting pollution, we need to point out the errors so that if we can correct them between now and that time, you see us having that kind of robust public transportation system, either in Lagos, Abuja, Kano, or Port Harcourt.
It will take a miracle for that
in
to happen.
4 years.
It will take, like I said, it will take a miracle to,
with the paucity of funds Nigeria is going through right now.
Yeah, it will take a miracle for that to happen, and beyond the political will, you just said it is cities that host. So you have to, if you're going to be Uyo, because I'm trying to narrow it down to like just 3 cities right now, either Uyo, Lagos, or Abuja. I'm not seeing any other place again, because you have to also consider.
I agree with you.
You also have to also consider
things of
other factors, security and the rest. So you have to narrow it down to Uyo, Lagos, and Abuja. Okay, Uyo has very good road network, but I don't know if they have a robust transport. Road network is different from transport.
Yeah, but being a smaller city than Abuja and Lagos, the chances of having a transportation system is faster. It will be faster for you.
Yeah,
that is correct.
Birmingham, I was at Birmingham 2022. Yeah. In the UK, and it's a small city in the Midlands.
That is correct.
I mean, it's a small,
it's a small city. Put together,
so it's easy.
It will be very easy.
You can
unlike Abuja
and Lagos.
Yeah. So although Lagos has the BRT already, which can be improved upon, but Abuja has no public transportation.
So Uyo, you can organize something within the 4 years.
Okay.
If you have the political will and the government of Akwa Ibom, because it's going to be a state thing. It's going to be a state thing. If they can bring out the funding, and we can have, I would like Uyo probably will be better to manage than Abuja or Lagos, because for right now you have some existing nice road network in Oyo. Nice road network.
I've been on Oyo for some time.
Now, I don't know about, like you said,
some of the facilities.
The facilities now.
As soon as Godswill Akpabio left,
and it was. I think that Godswill Akpabio Stadium for me is more like a football place, just for football. I mean, you have to now develop other sports, because if you're doing Commonwealth game, at least you look at least 12 sports.
That is correct.
At least 12 sports. What's even there?
The Abuja Stadium boasts of most of those facilities already. You see the challenge we have.
We have those facilities already, but you don't have the road, the transport system.
Transportation system.
So
yeah, but you know, the FCT minister, they are building bus stops recently. I don't know.
Yes,
that it does not translate to public transportation system that is robust. Where I sit in my house, I'm getting ready for work in Newark. I look at my bus app, and I know that in 7 minutes my bus will be.
I mean, you can have a train system that takes you from the central area to the stadium, back to your hostel. You understand that kind of thing? We don't have it yet, and I doubt if we can do that within 4 years.
It could be done, like you said. If you look at it, because we have train services already in the FCT, and then of course there is a road network.
Yeah.
So it's just about sitting down to design that transportation system and then begin to put it on the ground. But whether it is possible to get it,
the funding, you can get the funding and the timing now. When you get the funding, is 4 years enough for us to do
all of that?
Because if you want to do all this thing, you have to be ready at least by 2029.
That's what I'm saying. What is the problem with the Commonwealth Sports Federation? We had all these things. Nigeria was bidding for the 2014 games in 2005. 9 years ahead. Why is this one coming so sudden? What happened? Why is Commonwealth not doing it like they used to do it? Giving the people bidding that latitude of time to put things in place.
I think you have to understand one other thing. There has been problem of hosting cities. Before they finally gave Glasgow the right to host next year Commonwealth Games. It was Victoria in Australia that was supposed to host it. I mean, at some point they pulled out because they felt they would not be able to meet up with the financial implication. Now, another city in Canada took it up briefly. They too pulled out before Glasgow. In fact, Glasgow rescued the Commonwealth. Glasgow.
And if you remember, the 2022 version was
supposed to be in
Africa,
Durban, South Africa. So
Nigeria sent him
the same thing. Glasgow rescued Africa at that time. So Glasgow rescued both Victoria in Australia and the city in Canada. So it's not a cheap venture.
Absolutely.
If you want to host the Commonwealth game, I mean, forget it.
For big cities,
just 12 events or 14 events, you're spending millions and millions of pounds. You understand? So when you translate that to naira, I mean, you understand what I mean. So
talking about trillions.
I mean, so we don't. Glasgow is trying to, rescue everybody right now. So we Nigeria have that beyond the political will.
Yeah.
You can now, we want to do it. We want to do it. Will the money be available to do it? Because all your facilities must be in place at least 2029. The game is going to be in 2030. It's going
to be some test run.
Yeah, you'll be test run. You also even have to probably host one mini event. The people from the Commonwealth will come and check.
Villages to host to house.
Everything must be ready in 2029.
Wow,
so we have about 3 years.
Wow, Folusho. I don't know, like you said, let's support the government. It will be great. Don't get me wrong. It will be great for Nigeria to host the Commonwealth Games. I look forward to that. We welcome all Commonwealth citizens to Abuja here, Lagos or whatever city.
Lagos, Uyo, Abuja, whatever.
Look, it will be great. But look, like there is a passage in the Bible that says, do you want to build a house without sitting down to count the cost? So let's count the cost of this and see. Maybe it's doable.
It's doable, yeah.
They say the Nigerian is the #1 person that has the can-do spirit in Africa. So if it can be done by anyone, we can do it. So let's see how it goes as we move on now. Folusho, just on Thursday, we received the news that the long-serving captain of the Super Falcons, we need to give her honor on this show. I mean, on the a patriotic servant of Nigeria, over 20 years of service. He is in her 40s now and still playing very well. 109 caps for a woman, 4 WAFCON titles, 7 WAFCON appearances, and the 6 FIFA World Cup appearances. Wow! Amazing. Records across the world. I'm telling you.
Amazing.
So, and then on Thursday she sent a message. I don't know if we can see her on the list. And they say, "Look, guys, I'm waving bye-bye to the Super Falcons. You think somebody can fill those big shoes she's leaving behind?"
Well, it will be very difficult, but of course someone will do it eventually. She's been a good servant. She's been a good competitor. She's seen it all. She's gone around the world. Football has I've given her a name. I hope this time around she'll give back to the game that.
Yeah, that's exactly what she said. She's now ready to give back.
I mean, she's a legend. I mean,
Absolutely.
she's a legend. For you to attend 7 FIFA World Cup, that's amazing.
6, I think, yeah, 6.
6. Okay, that's, I mean, 4 WAFCON titles.
4 WAFCON titles, 7 WAFCON appearances, and all of that. Yeah.
She's done so much, and
109 caps for Lucia.
I mean, so all the experiences she has garnered over the years, I hope the NFF encourage her to put it back into the system.
This is the challenge I have. Why does the NFF and the different federations not dip back into the people who own the sport to have people to do things for them?
It's because most times
a winner takes all or whatever.
It's because I think the problem also has to do with our former athletes. I think they don't do enough. Okay. After they leave the scene, they don't do enough to want to get into administration. They feel it's like it's supposed to be a politician terrain.
Okay.
You understand?
Or maybe because they didn't develop themselves enough. Someone has said that our athletes, our footballers, and all of them, most of them don't develop themselves enough with those technical knowledge that playing football alone does not give.
Okay, let me give you an example. Samuel Eto'o is now running Fecafoot, right?
That is correct. He's having a lot of problems though.
But he's cutting his teeth there.
That is right.
So while you are playing football, you're not going to a management school. You're just playing football. But in the course of playing football, you've learned so much about player welfare. Sometimes you're being owed your salary. Even at your club level, a lot of things happen. So those experiences, he's taking it to
schools.
Yeah, it's school on its own. You don't have to go to any management school. You understand the pain of the average player.
Okay.
You understand the pain of not having a boots. You understand the pain of not getting your allowances as I went due. So he now went in and he won. So he's cutting his teeth. Let him make his mistake.
Okay.
But it's good for you to have somebody
we can see on Amaebi's photo for just a moment as we wave her and find her goodbye.
So it's good for you to have somebody who has been there to manage things.
Knowledge of
you understand?
Okay.
You can imagine if you have people like Mario Nyali at the M of Affairs. These guys, they did this. They ran. Let them come and run the Nigerian Athletics Federation.
Okay.
Let them make their own mistake, and I'm sure they will,
over time,
because they've been there. They know the pain
they will handle it better. Who are coming from the outside. Okay, fantastic. And we're here too, as we get to wind down. I'm being signaled by my producer that time is running out. Ademola Lookman is back in the good books of Atalanta after a 4-0 wallop.
I don't know what the but I think it's not.
Why did they have to wait until they were walloped?
It wasn't a good idea. The club disrespected that young man. He did so much for them, and I think we didn't see the agreement, but they said there was a gentleman's agreement.
Yeah, but look, African players need to understand that. Look, a gentleman's agreement is not actionable in a court of law. It
has to be black. It has to be black and white.
If you don't have it written down and drafted by a lawyer, it is not something you can action. You know, if a friend gave me an example with Harry Kane, who was a complete gentleman with Daniel Levy at Tottenham Hotspur. For about 3 seasons, the man kept telling him, okay, you will leave next season. And when the man reneged on it, Harry Kane never went on strike. He still did his thing. And finally one day, he still left and he's doing fine for Bayern Munich. So I think African players need to learn to be a bit more patient. And, you know, a gentleman's agreement is not actionable.
Well, but it's good thing for him that he's playing football again.
Yeah, okay, that's right. I didn't play with the Super Eagles.
Yeah, he's still playing. Any money. I hope No.
I hear discussions are on to give him a bumper contract for many years when he wants to leave. So I don't know how that is going to work out.
But it's a good thing that they're going to, resolve it, and everybody's happy again.
Absolutely.
I hope we won't have to revisit this issue.
Yeah,
because I see us going back to this issue maybe at the end of next season. I see us going back there next one, but he's playing football right now and he's enjoying himself, so I think it's good for him.
All right, Folisho, I'm being signaled that our time is far gone, and it's about time we pull the curtains onto this edition of Weekend Sports Roundup. Folisho Alade,
thank you very much.
I want to thank you so much for breaking off from your very busy schedule to come and share this robust knowledge with us here. Please. Don't forget the big burger, the big mark you brought from the USA. I want my share. I know your children must have pitched this. Alright guys, that's about here. We'll be drawing the curtains on this edition of the show. I want to thank the man behind the scenes helping out with all you have been seeing, Kalistus Ahanano. Thank you so much. And from our Lagos end, there's Elijah, and of course Goodwill, and of course there's the other, my friend, I have to remember his name because those guys are doing very fantastic, helping us to broadcast from our studio here in Abuja. I want to congratulate you guys for a job well done. My name is Ernest Osogwe. Until next time, when we come again with another edition of Weekend Sports Roundup, it's bye-bye from me. Have a great day.
VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice. The red carpets, awards, the razzmatazz, music, fashion, interviews, and more. Spotlight on Voice of the People Television. Let's feed you with all the juicy stories in the global entertainment space, bringing you the glitz and glamour as it is hot. Stay tuned to Spotlight, 1 p.m. Monday to Friday. Spotlight on VOP TV. Entertainment like never before. In a world where truth is the ultimate power and opinions scream the loudest, it's time to wade through the noise